So, back for another episode of Believe in Boyt with this Nugganodle team. And Nugganodle really needs to start pulling its weight at some point. Not really doing too much at the moment, but I guess I haven't been facing the right matchups for it. But hopefully we're going to face them now. Another top 500 guy, not bad. So I underspeed Terrakion. He can Tailwind regardless, but would this be the one for Nugganodle? I can't Rage Powder away any beat-ups, so the only way to stop a beat-up would be Fake Out from Rillaboom. Which I think works. Rillaboom Landorus looks like a very good lead. But then Incineroar can still intimidate that. Yeah, I think I want to go Rillaboom Landorus. Shifu. The extra insurance against the Incineroar. I guess Rillaboom and Landorus can do okay against that. Nugganodle does okay against it as well. I don't think I want to bring in Grimmsnarl. And I'm pretty sure I don't want Volcarona either. So it's going to be Nugganodle and Urshifu then. Cool. So if they don't lead Incineroar, well then they're just going to switch into Incineroar, aren't they? If they don't lead Whimsicott to Terrakion, then they're definitely switching into Incineroar. Or they've led with Incineroar. We will see. Probably should stop talking indefinites as well, because it may not happen. Who knows in Pokemon? There it is. What is this music? I don't recognise this music. It sounds pretty cool. So my Rillaboom will not outspeed a Whimsicott of +1. So even if I fake out an Airstream and they protect the Whimsicott, then they would still going to go for it. Protect isn't the most common move on Whimsicott. They could easily switch into Incineroar, but that is not the slot that I thought would be switching into Incineroar. Are they going to be protecting? They are, that's also okay, because then I can just Airstream again and be faster. Could have gone for a Soul Stance as well. Could have gone for 2 Soul Stances. That'd have been fine. But this Airstream will put my Landorus faster than Incineroar as well, which is really nice. But do they have Protect on Whimsicott? They do. Unfortunate. I personally don't think there's space for Protect on Whimsicott. Like, it's obviously for Fake Out, but I personally don't think there's space. There's way too many good things that Whimsicott could be doing. Protecting is not one of them. Like, sure, you'll get your Tailwind next turn, but now I get to go for Quake into Incineroar and Sword Stance on Rillaboom. And what are you going to do to punish that? Even if you set up Tailwinds, I can now +1, not +2, Grassy Glide the Terrakion, so that would be fine. And I'm pretty confident Life Orb Max Quake still KOs Incineroar even at -1. Only Shark Berry would be bad here. And I guess Fake Out into Rillaboom would be not ideal as well, but it should still be fine. I would like my +2 though, or +1 because of Intimidate. It'd be very kind if they let me get the Soul Stance. Do they have a Ground Resist as well? Because they had Urshifu, Regieleki, there's Terrakion in the back for sure. Can't even remember. I guess they're just going for Intimidate spam at this point. Ah, there's the Ground Resist. There's the Ground Resist. So, not an ideally played first few turns for me, it seems. Because there was a Ground Resist. In my head, there was no Ground Resist, so Max Quake was free, but I forgot about the Zapdos. So this has pretty much gone as poorly as it could have done at this point. can be done here? I would assume the Whimsicott switching into Incineroar. But I think I want to preserve my Rillaboom as well. Well, there's not really a switch in. Nargonuddle's going to end up being a sack. And I'm going to Quake the Incineroar. So, we'll see if a -2 Quake is able to KO Incineroar. I am curious about this calc. Like, Zapdos is going to be running rampant now, which is not good. But at least I can just switch out my Landorus next turn, reset the Intimidates, and then hopefully Stone Edge the Zapdos at some point. But the Assault Vest, I'll live an Airstream from the Zapdos, and I'll preserve Fake Out on my end. But so far, they have definitely been playing better than me. So should be living. Comfortably living, but could be better. Now, how strong is Landorus going to be? Is this still going to KO at -2? Okay, that's good to know. That is very good to know. Again, I actually learned another count this week. I'm amazed I didn't crit that, but there we go. So I do want to be resetting my Intimidate drops here. Problem is I don't have a Flying Resist. So Zapdos is pretty much just going to Airstream twice at this point. So not ideal. I will try and Snarl. I will probably not succeed in snarling because I'll either get Fake Outed or KO'd. And then Urshifu isn't as important here, I don't think. I guess I can Aqua Jet KO the Incineroar. But switching in Rillaboom on an Airstream is not ideal. Well, neither of them are. If either of them switch in the Airstream, will get KO'd. But which one's better to have? Because Rillaboom can still Swords Dance and do well against running out of time. So I'm going to still go into Rillaboom. I do value the Landorus. Was always going to happen, and then it should be Airstream. So, sacrificing Rillaboom. Then, is Zapdos strong enough to KO my Landorus with an Airstream? So I can't protect. Might be worth Aqua Jet KOing the Incineroar. I'm saying might be worth, I'm just doing it. Might be worth Aqua Jetting the Incineroar, even though it could very easily switch into Whimsicott or Terrakion. So I'm going to Sludge Bomb the Incineroar as well. Could Snarl, but this way, even if I'm losing Urshifu to an Airstream, I can KO the Whimsicott as well. And then no beat-up potential. That should be Aqua Jet range, right? Because bandits, you know? But then it's still not an ideal position at all. They switch into Whimsicott this turn, they'll still reset Fake Out pressure, which is not good. Or they sacrifice the Incineroar to this Aqua Jet, which does KO? Does not KO. Ooh, just shy. Good trading on the Incineroar there. Because now they just get a double KO and I definitely lose. So I needed to Swords Dance on the first turn. Because my Landorus got put to -2, that was not ideal. I should lift this. Oh, I was way lower than I thought I was. But yeah, if I had a Swords Dance, if I had a double Swords Dance turn 1, can you imagine? +2 on both. I mean, this is technically not over. Zapdos does not have 100% Echo moves that can hit my Landorus. So this is technically not over. It is effectively over, but technically not. So I definitely go for Earthquake here to KO the Terrakion, because I have to play for all the Hurricane misses at this point. But Rock Slide, single target with all my Life Orb chip and a Moonblast from Whimsicott with that KO. If they hit any move with Zapdos, they will definitely win. Maybe it was better to Stone Edge, playing for the miss. Like, Heat Wave is more accurate, so that makes sense. What? That was so much damage. And they had 100% accurate move on Terrakion regardless. I'm surprised that KO'd as well. They were intimidated. Might be banded. But yeah, that Heat Wave did way more than I expected. I know it's single target Heat Wave, but still. That seems odd. But there we go. Should have Swords Danced on turn 1. I even said about the Incineroar switching in turn 1, and then I just ignored myself. But at least I got to find out the -2 max Quake does not KO Incineroar. And they apparently had a very well trained Incineroar, so. But can you imagine the double Swords Dance on turn 1? Okay, so reasonably high at this point. Quite like that team though. Maybe because it's pretty much the same as the one I built, but Salamence over Whimsicott, but... Oh, and I had Rotom Wash as well, didn't I? But there we go. Naganadel is not too bad here. Not too bad. If I can keep Volcarona away from the Nihilego, Volcarona is very good. So if I lead, like, Urshifu is definitely coming, even though there's a Rillaboom. But if I lead Urshifu Volcarona, that could be nice. I'm gonna bring my Landorus. Grimmsnarl is not too bad here. Leading Grimmsnarl might be better, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna lead Grimmsnarl. I don't think I'm bringing Naganadel to this one. And then I will be bringing Urshifu, and pretty sure it's Landorus. So no Naganadel, unfortunately, but I'm sure it's gonna. Well, I'm not sure. Not sure at all, because it's only got like 4 matches left to be able to shine, and it has not been shining at the moment. So maybe there is a reason it's not one of the more used Ultra Beasts. No, it's not too bad. They could be having a rock move on their Metagross. I'm very wary of that. Because that is picking up because of Rotom. That would be very risky now. What I'm gonna do... Is Heat Wave and Sucker Punch still worth? Because I'm thinking of snoozing. I think I might snooze. I'm gonna go for a snooze. Because I Dynamax my Grimmsnarl way more than the average person does. But they are not Dynamaxing, so they might just be going for Rock Slide. And if they do, that'd be nice, because they'll take a huge amount of damage. Because there's no way my Grimmsnarl outspeeds their Metagross, right? Unless they're like super min speed for the Trick Room. Or Nihilego or Whimsicott. I didn't Dynamax, just protect. So am I going to get the Yawn through Protects? I'm not sure why people protect in Tailwind at this point. You don't need to anymore. Just Tailwind and attack. But are they going to be feeling sleepy? Because it's only a 50% chance. Was that Sash? That's Sash, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Not too much damage, but are they going to feel sleepy? Nah, of course not. The one time that I do it on camera, it never is. Well, I'm going to Rage Powder away the Steel move, and I'm going to snooze them once again. So if they Dynamax now, that's good for me. Especially if they Steel Spike. Because I should be able to two-shot them with Steel Spike, right? And Volcarona, my Volcarona is pretty bulky, so it should live Moonblast and Steel Spike, and then I'll be able to Rage Powder away again. And then if they max guard on that turn, I can still just Sucker Punch them. So they did Dynamax, so not too bad. And if it's Rockfall as well, they don't get a defense boost. So then my Snooze is doing a lot more damage. Just need to make sure I don't Starfall next turn. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Are we still living with Volcarona? Yes, no? It's a pretty bonky Volcarona. To make use of the Grassy Seed. There's the Steel Spike. Perfectly EV'd. Wonderful. So they'll get their defense boost, but hopefully they're going to feel sleepy now. Because it's two 50% chances, so effectively 75% chance to get a Yawn here. Okay, it won't two-shot after another Steel Spike. There it is! Wonderful! So now I can max guard, they will fall asleep. Perfect. So I'm going to go with Heat Wave, and I'm going to max guard. And then I can just pick them off with Aqua Jet and Sucker Punch, or if they switch out to Berserk. Yeah, so that's good. There does Gleam as well, so that should still be enough on Volcarona. But they cannot get the Steel Spike and they're going to fall asleep, so that's very nice. So it's not too often you see Snooze come into play, but there it is. Which is better? Because I could Swords Dance on my Landorus and Spirit Break the Whimsicott. That might be better. Could Sucker Punch the Whimsicott. Is that worth? Because there's only one more turn of Tailwinds. Getting rid of the Whimsicott for sure might be worth taking a Dazzling Gleam. No, I'm going to Sucker Punch the Whimsicott. I'm going to play a little bit risky. And I got it right, so that's good. But then their alternatives was Helping Hand, which is definitely not happening, or an unknown move we don't know at this point, which probably didn't help them, so not too bad. Will they be able to survive my Sucker Punch with a +1 defense? We'll be curious about that one. I'm not too concerned about the Metagross at this point. I could just Earthquake KO myself. I'm reflecting to reduce the damage. I am Earthquaking! So... But I think I'm Light Screening instead. Because Light Screen means that Meteor Beam will not KO my... Or at least I assume it won't KO my Landorus, so I can just Earthquake here. And I will Light Screen instead of Reflect. So not too bad, not too bad. Snooze coming into play quite nicely. Okay, reasonable if that's a ground resist. That is indeed a ground resist. But is my Grimmsnarl going to be able to take this? Because Reflect would have been optimal, because I could have Light Screens the turn before. But now I just need to KO the Nihilego. And then I Surging... Well, I think at this point I might even just have to Surging Strikes twice. So I do KO my own Grimmsnarl, which isn't the worst thing. So I'm pretty confident with the light screen, Urshifu can take whatever the Nihilego would throw at it. So I can just Surging Strikes KO the Rotom at this point. And I don't want to Earthquake myself this turn, because I could Earthquake into a double protect and then I crit myself. May even just Oko actually, because I am +2, so Stone Edge should be enough to hear the Nihilego if it's able to hit, and Surging Strikes will KO the Rotom at this point. No Rotom can survive this. So there's the Meteor Beam. Light Screen should save either Pokemon. That is one of the problems with Meteor Beam. It takes so long to go through. Light Screen saves the Landorus. Surging Strikes KOs any Rotom. Even Pasho can't survive because, you know, only on the first hit. And only needs 2 hits, as you can see. So, that should be fine. Stone Edge does connect, so that should KO at the +2. So, that was a bit better. And that was a good showing of the snooze as well. Like, I Dynamax Grimmsnarl probably a bit too much. But that's why I have, like, attack investment on my Grimmsnarl, because I Dynamax it more often than the average person. But coming into play there quite nicely. It's not even usually for the snooze. Oh, I guess check the battle team. Nice. And they didn't have Rock Slide, so I didn't have to be as concerned. And it was Safeguard. Interesting. That's pretty reasonable. Yeah, Choice Scarf with that moveset. That's a weird moveset to have with Choice Scarf, but still reasonable. Just Bandits. And they did have Power Gem as well. Fair enough. So, good showing with Grimmsnarl. I still need a good showing of Naganadel. And we're running out of time. So, is this going to be it? Well, it's Sun. Is Naganadel good against Sun? It's not the greatest. I want to go Volcarona against Sun. So if I lead Urshifu into Sun, that's terrible. If I lead Urshifu into Porygon 2, that is okay. But then if I lead Urshifu into Regieleki and Porygon 2, that is not good. Thinking of leading Rillaboom Volcarona, and if they lead Sun, I'm just going to switch out immediately with the Rillaboom. I am bringing Urshifu because of P2, and then it's either Landorus or Naganadel. Landorus can Intimidate, neither can survive Glastria. Both are a Poison switch in. To be fair, Landorus is not actually too bad as a lead either, is it? Maybe I'll bring Landorus in the back and try and preserve Dynamax. But then I guess this is the game for Naganadel as well. But at least I got a nice Thunder with the Grimmsnarl. Okay, Porygon 2. And it's Venusaur. Okay, so I could have led Urshifu somewhat. It's still not ideal, but so what are we going to do here? Because I think this is one of the smarter leads of Sun, where you have to respect either Trick Room switch into Trick Room Sweeper, or switch into Torkoal. It's Trace. It's Trace on the P2. Interesting. Quiver Dancing is a bit awkward here, but I'm going to try it. And I'm going to fake out the P2. Is that worth? Because they could just so easily switch into Torkoal, it's too late. I clicked A. But they didn't, so that's not so bad. Are they going to be that guy? They're going to be that guy, aren't they? The Venusaur's slower than my Volcarona. My Volcarona is not max speed. So... okay, they weren't that guy. That's not so bad. That's annoying, but that's not so bad. Because what is about to happen is a Heat Wave and a Drum Solo. And I reckon that can get the P2. Right? I can get the P2. Probably doesn't get the P2. We're going to find out if it gets the P2. So, Drum Solo in the face of a Venusaur is a bit awkward. But they didn't switch, so... they didn't Dynamax either. So Heat Wave, because my Venusaur is definitely faster than their Venusaur. They will get KO'd if they stay in with the Heat Wave, and then we'll see if Rillaboom with a Miracle Seed can pull through. It's going to be pretty close on the P2. So do connect. Oh, that's easy. That's got a KO, right? Oh, the crystal hit. We'll never know. There it was. We learned in the previous matches, but we don't find out this time. Wonderful. I mean, we'll take the wonderful, amazing position, but there we go. Wait, did Venusaur dodge? Apparently Venusaur dodged. No, it just survived. But then to be fair, it undersped my Volcarona, so it was pretty bulky. So, makes sense. But this is a pretty good position now. Because if they got Galastria and Torkoal in the back, that would be very good. There's Galastria. And that's Torkoal. Don't know why they didn't switch in Torkoal at any point, but that's not too bad. What did I bring them back? Landorus and Urshifu, right? So, what's the best way to do this? It's got to be Heat Wave and Quake into the Torkoal, right? Because the Galastria is the most likely one to Dynamax. But then, if it max guards, then it's much better to attack into the Torkoal, obviously. But if they attack, then they're taking a +1 Sun boosted Heat Wave at this point. So... is it going to be a max guard? If not, Torkoal probably gets KO'd actually. To +1 in the Sun and Quake. But they're protecting the Torkoal instead, so that's reasonable. But that means +1 in the Sun. Okay, good. That was respectable, for sure. I'm not sure it's quite Banded's close combat range. It's going to get pretty close. But they only KO either Rillaboom or Volcarona here. Okay, Steel Spike, so it's going to KO the Volcarona, but no it's not. Wait, which goes first? I should know this at this point. Does Poison or Grassy Terrain go first? I really should know that at this point. Okay, it's Grassy Terrain, and it recovers... not enough. Poison's still going to KO me. But that's fine. That's fine. At this point, pretty sure I can get away with even an Earthquake in... Stone Edge better? Earthquake in Terrain and Max Quake. If they're Berry on the Galastria, that's not good. But they can't Oko Urshifu, right? So I can still just get away with the Surging Strikes and Quake into the Torkoal for a guaranteed. And if they KO the Rillaboom, then I can just... it's still in the Sun, isn't it? Because I don't want to max guard and they Solar Beam. So I'm just going to Surging Strikes and Quake the Torkoal. They shouldn't really max guard here because I'm definitely attacking the Torkoal and taking my pretty much guaranteed KO at this point. But... yeah, it's still a little bit awkward. So this shouldn't KO because of the sun. But even with a berry, they should be KO'd to Quake. Okay, no berry. So, definitely KO. But if they KO the Rillaboom, I'm locked into Surging Strikes in the sun, which isn't ideal. But I could also fly. I could Stone Edge for a super effective hit, but then I'd definitely get KO'd to a Hailstorm. Or I could fly and then try and hit them in non-Dynamax. And that's better, actually. That's more damage than Stone Edge super effective against Dynamax. And they didn't even attack Rillaboom, so I just get to switch out Urshifu for a guaranteed win now. Because if I just switch out and then I can close combat, then I win. So, sorted. So I lose Dynamax on Rillaboom, but they've only got one more turn for Glastrier. And then I am fine. So definitely switch out into the Landorus. It gets an Intimidate as well, because why not? And then Grass Glide into the Glastrier. And then I just close combat at some point. And they know it, so not too bad. Not too bad. Got to Dynamax some of the less conventional Dynamax Pokemon on this team as well. Like the Rillaboom is still an entirely viable. Like Drum Solo is super strong still. And we'll never know if the combination KOs the V2 because, you know, I've got that curse still on me that they crit way too much when I want to learn. But yeah, Grimmsnarl got a good showing as well. People should Dynamax their Grimmsnarl more often.